From abandoned prisons to eerie forests, Ohio is a hotbed of paranormal activity. It seems every town has its own ghost story, stories whispered around campfires and passed down through generations. While many believe in these spine-chilling tales, others remain skeptical, dismissing them as mere folklore. But what's the truth? In this video, we're diving headfirst into the heart of Ohio's most haunted locations. We'll explore the history, the legends, and the evidence both for and against the paranormal. Get ready to explore some of the most chilling stories in the Buckeye State. Our first stop takes us to Mansfield, Ohio, home to the imposing Ohio State Reformatory. This place has it all. A dark and brutal past, countless stories of paranormal activity, and an eerie atmosphere that'll send chills down your spine. Built in 1886, it was initially intended to rehabilitate first-time offenders. But the reality was far more grim. Overcrowding, disease, and violence became the norm within these walls. Inmates lived in deplorable conditions, their cries for help echoing through the cell blocks. Some say those cries never truly faded. Over the years, the reformatory earned a reputation for brutality. Guards were known to be harsh, and stories of inmate-on-inmate violence were rampant. The most haunted area is said to be solitary confinement, a place of utter despair and isolation. It's here that many inmates took their own lives. Unable to bear the torment any longer, visitors and paranormal investigators have reported disembodied voices, shadowy figures lurking in the cell blocks, and even full-bodied apparitions. One of the most famous apparitions is a former warden's wife murdered, they say, by an inmate. Her spirit is said to roam the halls, searching for her killer. Cold spots, sudden drops in temperature, and the feeling of being watched are commonplace. Some say you can hear the clanging of cell doors even though the prison has been abandoned for decades. I've even heard stories of people feeling a physical presence touching them, pushing them, or even scratching them. The old reformatory is a treasure trove of paranormal activity, attracting investigators and thrill seekers from all over the world. The stories are endless and the evidence is compelling. Is it the spirits of tormented souls seeking justice? Or is it simply the echoes of a dark and troubled past? We may never know for sure. One thing's for certain. The Ohio State Reformatory is a chilling reminder of the darker side of human nature, a place where the veil between our world and the next seems frighteningly thin. Our next stop takes us to Cleveland, to a majestic Victorian mansion with a sinister secret Franklin castle. Now, if these walls could talk, they'd scream. They'd scream of the horrors that unfolded within their walls. It's a place where tragedy and the paranormal intertwine, leaving a chilling legacy that continues to haunt the city. It was here that Hannes Tiedemann, a wealthy German immigrant, moved with his family in the late 1800s. But their dream home soon transformed into a nightmare. Tragedies struck the Tiedemann family multiple times within the castle's walls. Their firstborn, a daughter named Emma, died at just 5 years old. This was followed by the deaths of 3 more Tiedemann children: Heinrich, who died at the age of 3, Julius, who died as an infant, and a daughter named Elizabeth, who died at 14 years old. Whispers of diphtheria spread throughout the community, but some suspect a more sinister cause for the children's deaths. Rumors of Hannes's infidelity and a supposed illegitimate child hidden within the house swirled, painting a dark picture of the family's life. As if the deaths of 4 children weren't horrifying enough, tragedy struck again when Louise Tiedemann, Hannes's beloved mother, passed away in the house. Grief-stricken, Hannes decided to sell the home and move his remaining family away from the home that held so much pain. But the tragedies didn't end with the Tiedemann family. Over the years, Franklin Castle changed hands numerous times, each new owner encountering strange and unsettling occurrences. Footsteps echoing in the dead of night, disembodied voices whispering from empty rooms, and the most chilling of all, the apparition of a woman in black believed to be the grieving mother, Louise, eternally searching for her lost children. Paranormal investigators have flocked to Franklin Castle, drawn by its dark history and the sheer volume of paranormal reports. EVP recordings captured eerie voices, cold spots defied logical explanation, and some even claimed to have witnessed objects moving on their own. Could it be that the tragedies imprinted themselves on the very fabric of the house? Are the spirits of the Tiedemann children trapped, their souls unable to find peace? Franklin Castle stands as a chilling reminder that some places are forever marked by the tragedies they've witnessed, their stories etched into the very walls, ensuring that their dark legacy lives on. Chapter 3. The Ridges, Asylum of the Lost and Wandering. Next we venture to Athens, Ohio, home to the Ridges, a former psychiatric hospital shrouded in unsettling tales. This sprawling complex, perched atop a hill overlooking the city, has a history steeped in both sorrow and mystery. Built in 1874, the Ridges, originally known as the Athens Lunatic Asylum, quickly gained a reputation for its experimental treatments and often inhumane conditions. Patients, many suffering from illnesses we now understand much better, were subjected to ice baths, electroshock therapy, and even lobotomies. The most infamous procedure performed at the Ridges was the lobotomy. Doctors believed that by severing the connections in the prefrontal cortex of the brain, they could cure patients of their mental illnesses. The reality, however, was far more gruesome and often left patients worse off than before. One of the most haunting stories associated with the Ridges is that of Margaret Schilling. Admitted to the asylum in 1978, Margaret suffered from schizophrenia. She disappeared from her room one December day, only to be found 6 weeks later in a locked ward. The discovery of her body sent chills down the spines of the staff. She was lying naked on the floor, her once vibrant clothes folded neatly beside her. The cause of death: exposure. How could someone simply vanish without a trace within a secure facility? And how did she end up in a locked ward? To this day, her death remains a mystery, but her spirit, they say, never left. Visitors and staff have reported seeing her ghost, often described as a shadowy figure gliding through the asylum's corridors. Some even claim that Margaret is responsible for the bloodstains that mysteriously reappear on the floor of the ward where she died. No amount of cleaning can permanently erase them. Today, parts of the Ridges have been repurposed for use by Ohio University, but the stories and the hauntings persist. Visitors and staff report disembodied voices, unexplained cold spots, and the overwhelming feeling of being watched. Some say you can still hear the echoes of the patients, their anguished cries for help reverberating through the empty corridors. Are these the residual energies of those who suffered within these walls, their pain and suffering etched into the very foundation of the building? Or is it something more sinister, something that feeds off the negative energy that permeates this place? The Ridges stands as a chilling testament to the evolution of mental health treatment and the enduring power of the human spirit, even in the face of unimaginable suffering. Chapter 4. Moonville Tunnel whispers in the dark. Our journey takes us deep into the forests of southeastern Ohio, to a place where the line between fact and folklore blurs: Moonville Tunnel. Nestled within the dense woods of Zaleski State Forest, this abandoned railway tunnel has become a hotbed of paranormal activity, attracting those brave enough to venture into its depths. Moonville itself was once a bustling mining town, but after the mines closed, the town slowly dwindled, leaving behind a collection of ghost stories and legends. The tunnel, shrouded in darkness and shrouded in an eerie silence, is said to be haunted by the spirits of those who met their demise along the tracks. One of the most well-known legends is that of a railroad worker who was decapitated by an oncoming train within the tunnel. Locals say his headless ghost still wanders the area, searching for his lost head. The sound of train whistles piercing the night despite the absence of tracks adds to the eerie ambience. Another tragic tale associated with the tunnel is that of a young woman who was struck and killed by a train while walking home one night. Some say her spirit still walks the tracks, her mournful cries echoing through the tunnel, searching for a way out of her spectral prison. Visitors have reported seeing her shadowy figure, sometimes accompanied by the flickering light of a lantern, as if she's eternally searching for her way home. The stories of Moonville Tunnel have been passed down for generations. Some dismiss them as mere folklore, but others believe there's something truly sinister at play. Visitors to the tunnel have reported a wide range of unexplained phenomena. EVP recordings have captured disembodied voices, whispering and moaning, as if trying to communicate from beyond the grave. Others have claimed to have seen full-bodied apparitions within the tunnel's darkness. Whether you believe in ghosts or simply enjoy a good scare, Moonville Tunnel is an experience that will stay with you long after you've left its haunting presence. Chapter 5. Mansfield Fire Museum, where heroes and spirits meet. Our final destination takes us back to Mansfield, to a place where history and the paranormal collide, the Mansfield Fire Museum. Housed in a historic fire station, this museum is home to a collection of firefighting artifacts and equipment, but it's also said to be haunted by the spirits of firemen who lost their lives in the line of duty. The museum resides in the old fire station number 1, a building with a rich history dating back to the late 1800s. Over the years, countless firefighters have walked through its doors, responding to emergencies and risking their lives to save others. It's no wonder that some of their spirits are said to have lingered, their presence still felt within the building's walls. Visitors and staff have reported strange occurrences, from disembodied voices and footsteps to objects moving on their own. One of the most active spirits is believed to be that of Captain Elmer H. Gorman, who tragically lost his life in 1937 when the fire engine he was riding in collided with a truck while responding to a call. His spirit is said to be mischievous, often playing pranks on visitors and staff. Another spirit said to haunt the museum is that of a young boy who died in a fire in the early 1900s. Legend has it that he was playing with matches in the hayloft of a barn when the fire broke out. His parents managed to escape the blaze, but the young boy was trapped inside and perished. Visitors have reported seeing the apparition of a young boy in the museum, often near the old fire trucks. Some have even claimed to feel a small hand tugging at their clothing, as if the young boy is trying to get their attention. The Mansfield Fire Museum is a place where the bravery and sacrifice of firefighters are honored, but it's also a place where the spirits of those who made the ultimate sacrifice are said to linger. Whether you're a history buff or a paranormal enthusiast, the Mansfield Fire Museum is a must-see destination. From the imposing cell blocks of the Ohio State Reformatory to the eerie Moonville Tunnel, we've journeyed through some of the most haunted locations in the Buckeye State. We've explored the history, the legends, and the evidence, both for and against the paranormal. But the question remains, fact or fiction? Are these places truly haunted by the spirits of the dead, or are the stories simply products of our overactive imaginations? That's for you to decide. I encourage you to visit these locations for yourselves and experience the chilling stories firsthand. Thank you for joining me on this spine-chilling adventure. Don't forget to subscribe for more explorations into the unknown. Until next time, sleep tight, if you dare.